said, donkey biscuits.
Let the Marketplace help you pull together any party or any special occasion. The Marketplace Food Court offers all kinds of dishes, dinners, and sushi made to order. Choose from a variety of party platters, whether it's chicken wings or shrimp, classic meat and cheese, fruit and vegetables. Between the Marketplace Food Court and the Marketplace Bakeries, we have everything you need and more. Let the Marketplace be your kitchen away from home. Visit us 7 days a week for quality service and prices you can count on.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Friday, December the 8th, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Members of Parliament have been debating the controversial Domestic Partnerships Bill for around 2 hours tonight. So far, the opposition One Bermuda Alliance, keeping to its pledge to try and block the bill that would replace gay marriages with a civil union, have urged the government to have a rethink on the bill. Numerous OBA MPs urging the government to respect the decision of Supreme Court Judge Charles Addis Simmons, whose ruling this summer paved the way for gay nuptials. However, so far the government MPs have not wavered in support of the bill. It's expected the PLP MPs will be voting on their conscience, while the opposition MPs will vote under the party whip. Sources say that government MPs are expected to vote in favor to approve the bill, which will head to the Senate for its next test. A final vote by MPs is expected sometime tonight, so please tune in to our live coverage of proceedings on our Inspire 105 FM radio station. In other news, access to Fort St. Catharines Beach will remain open to the public after the new St. Regis Hotel in St. George's is operational. Minister of Tourism and Economic Development Jamal Simmons providing an update in the House of Assembly on the construction at the site told Gary Moreno briefly that negotiations are ongoing with the hotel developer.
The developers understand, and the community should understand as well, that this is a public beach. It will remain so, and access will be available to the public.
So what are some of the amendments you're looking at with regard to that act?
Early days yet. We've had some talks with the developer who had some things that he wanted to clarify and tighten up, and some of the recommendations we believe make sense. So we're in the process of looking through it right now and seeing what we can do. My reputation in this ministry is that I give my people, I say, come to me with your list of outrageous demands, and I'm glad to entertain them and try and do what I can, because we want to be a jurisdiction that is inviting and welcoming to business. We don't want to give away the farm, but when there's an opportunity to move a project along, an opportunity to do things better, we're welcome to listen and take it on.
Well, what are some of the requests or some of the suggestions being made by the developer?
I can't say right now. It's actually with Chambers. We're looking at some of these to see if they're doable. Some are, but at the present it wouldn't be appropriate for me to say.
Is there anything that government is seeking to change with regard to that act?
Well, all I will say is that we're in the middle of negotiations. I think I'll leave that there for right now. But I think it's important for the public to understand, and the people of St. George's to understand, that the beach is public and it will remain so.
In other news this evening, government making good on its promise to conclude negotiations with public sector unions as highlighted in its election platform. According to Levita Fogo, Minister of Government Reform, this, Ms. Fogo states, is needed to ensure continued provision of high-quality public services.
To date, collective bargaining agreements have been executed with the Bermuda Public Services Union and the Fire Services Association. Agreements in principle have been reached with the Bermuda Industrial Union and the Bermuda Union of Teachers. It is expected that these agreements will be executed within the coming days. Mr. Speaker, talks continue with the Prison Officers Association and the school principals. The school principals are represented as a separate bargaining unit by the BPSU. Talks with both groups are at various stages, though it is anticipated that they will progress quite quickly. Mr. Speaker, the Bermuda Police Association has not yet given notice of its intent to commence negotiations. Such notice is in accordance with the statutory provision.
Minister Fogo declaring that a decision has been taken to ensure that there is parity within the civil service as it relates to health insurance contributions.
There has long been disquiet over what can be described as an unacceptable situation wherein some groups of employees contribute 50% towards the government employee health insurance GEHI scheme, whilst other groups have both the employer and employee portions of their GEHI paid by the government. This can no longer continue as the norm, Mr. Speaker.
Meantime, OVA backbencher Michael Dunkley rejected criticism leveled at his previous administration.
And the reason why the financial mandate couldn't be tied up was simply because government has been in a precarious financial position for some time. And knowing full well that members of the civil service had worked for a long time without any cost of living increases, we asked the team to go to the table and explain the new payroll tax reforms that were taking place, which would mean that all government workers, or the vast majority of government workers, would get an increase by paying less payroll tax. Secondly, we wanted to hear their presentations on cost of living increases, and the BI did present quite a comprehensive package on that, and we did have discussions, and we're in the process of doing that. So I take strong exception to the Minister's comment. A big part of the formal mandate was the harmonization of the agreements. I was interested and a bit disappointed that the Minister only focused in on the police, the Bermuda Police Service today, and the parity in regards to the health insurance policy with the police and the other unions. And so I specifically asked a question on harmonization, because harmonization and parity is more than just health insurance. It's looking at sick leave across the board. It's looking at holiday allowances across the board. And the Minister was very brief and did not answer any question.
In other news tonight, government has set up a U.S. $135 million loan facility with the Bank of N.T. Butterfield and Son. The announcement coming from Premier and Minister of Finance David Burt, who reminded the need for this facility was first announced under the previous administration.
Honorable members will recall that in the 2017-18 budget statement, the former administration advised that government will have to incur new borrowing of $135 million to finance the 2017-18 deficit. And as of March 31st, 2018, it was estimated that public debt net of the sinking fund would be $2.48 billion. Honorable members are advised that traditionally the government finances its deficits almost entirely with borrowing in the international capital market. There are only 50 million Bermuda dollar bonds. The rest, the relative lack of domestic government bond market and local borrowing implies less financing flexibility than those countries able to borrow largely from their own residents enjoy. Mr. Speaker, $2.434 billion of Bermuda government's borrowings are in U.S. dollars and are in long-term fixed-rate instruments.
And to that end, an RFP was sent out with 5 financial institutions responding. They, the Premier advises, were all reviewed by the Ministry of Finance and the new Public Debt Management Advisory Group, which was set up by Premier Burt. We'll stay with us. More news and your weekend weather forecast after the break.
You can count on us.
Fresh Purdue Value Pack chicken thighs with drumsticks only $1.99 per pound. All varieties of potatoes just $4.99 for a 5-pound bag. Dole pineapple slices for your Christmas ham only $1.89 for a 20-ounce tin. For your mac and cheese, Catelli macaroni just $1.89 for a 500-gram box. Tropicana premium orange juice only $5.49 for a 59-ounce bottle. Visit our website at www.marketplace.pm for more weekly specials.
You can count on us.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
I enjoy the service a lot. It's very fast.
U.S. Express is always on time, and they always call you to come get your goods on time.
The cashback, when you get enough deliveries, is really nice. It's an added bonus.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Santa suits.
And party hats.
Letters sent.
Gifts neatly wrapped.
It must be Christmas. Let the magic begin.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Colonial, where people come first.
Blurry-eyed following your eye appointment? Had one too many? Or simply too tired to face the drive home at the end of a long night? There are lots of reasons why you couldn't and shouldn't get behind the wheel. Introducing HomeSafe from Security Associates, the island's only car and driver home delivery service. Reschedule with us and a HomeSafe driver will deliver you and your car right to your door. Whatever your reason for not driving, you can always get HomeSafe. Call 298-2626 for pricing and to find out how you can become a member or visit homesafebermuda.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back. A variety of suggestions voiced by the public today after we took to the streets of Hamilton to find out what you think should be done to solve the road safety crisis. Here's what you said.
I believe in my day, the police were more visible. And I find now, a lot of them parked trying to get someone with the radar. So if police are even in the traffic, you're going to slow down. Because hypothetically, when you see them, you just slow down, period.
I think that it should be people monitoring when they come out of bars. You know, for example, like if you see somebody trying to get into a car or on the bike and they're staggering, then, someone can stop them or something like that. They're with their friends or whatever, That could help. So, try sober.
They can limit selling 1 to 5 bikes, I guess. Start selling 50 cc's and that's it. Pretty much, I agree with that.
If you really look at it, it's a lot of youngsters that is getting in traffic accidents and losing their lives and stuff like that. So the only suggestion I could make is that maybe put the age number up a little bit more, like, you know what I mean? Because youngsters are dying too young, like, you know what I mean? They're not even started life and they're going already.
And more police presence and speed cameras.
Maybe restrict the number of bikes that people earn in a household.
I think that the random sobriety tests are the best way to do it, because I feel like most of these collisions happen on the intoxication or speeding, but I mean random sobriety would kind of bring that down, because people wouldn't drink if they knew they could get stopped and fined.
Well, people ride crazy sober all the time. I think maybe not necessarily making police give people more tickets, but having a more visible police presence on your roads will kind of make people slow down, because, when we was riding up, how many people overtook us in the middle of lunchtime traffic? Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah, I think definitely random stop and checks and random sobriety would be the way to go.
And just, think about other people when you're riding, man. Come on.
Everybody just take your time. Life is short. You only got one life, so take it while you have it. It's not just about you, it's about others, so you have to watch out for others too. It's halfway time, it's not your fault, it's the other individual. So just keep an eye out on the road. Take the rules that is told to you seriously.
Good ideas indeed. In other news, the PLP government is moving full steam ahead with passing new legislation. That's the view of political commentator David Sullivan, who says there should be no concern for what appears to be an imbalance in the House of Assembly.
Certainly the numbers that we have now, again, are not unknown to us. If people reflect back to the election before 2012, we were also at 24-12. The Progressive Labor Party went out of office, if one will remember, in 2012 with 24 seats. There was, quote-unquote, no way they were going to lose the 2012 election with that kind of a majority. It was 24 seats to the government at that time. There were 2 independents, one may recall, and there were 10 people in the OBA. So, is this new territory? No. Is it as dangerous a territory as it has always been? Yes. Because you don't have a properly balanced checks and balance system. You'll now rely upon the independents in the Senate, joining forces with the opposition in the Senate on all legislation, non-financial legislation that is, to maybe slow the government down. But I'm not the first one to use this expression, and where credit is due. Elections have consequences. The people of Bermuda went to the polls in July of 2017 and decided, in the majority of the votes that were cast, that the Progressive Labor Party a choice was a better choice than the One Bermuda Alliance was a choice. And the result thereof is now 24 seats have been given over to the Progressive Labor Party. Not an unfamiliar territory for them. One has been given up to the speakership, so 23 people vote against 12. One would, being a former sports guy, you'll know the idea about scoring. It's tough to win on the battlefield when you're looking at those kind of odds. Do I see it as potentially dangerous? Sure. Power can go to one's head rather quickly. Bad decisions can be made on the basis that they think that because I have the majority, I don't need to consult with anybody. But the caution I would probably throw to the government, if they would bother to listen, is that you've been here before, and you saw what the people did with you when you allowed that power to go to your head and you started to make bad decisions for the people of Bermuda. One hopes that lessons have been learned and there will not be a repeat of history. But there's a very simple and slippery slope that one can go down quickly. And I think one should be reminded of the election results of our last two general elections. 2012, the Progressive Labor Party was shown the door by the supporters of the Progressive Labor Party. 2017, the Progressive Labor Party was allowed back into government by the supporters of the Progressive Labor Party. Don't concentrate too much on what the One Bermuda Alliance is doing, as you should look inside and concentrate on what it is you are doing.
Turning to weather news, a sunny Saturday, but a wet and windy Sunday. In store, here's the details from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. And taking a look across Bermuda, not really anything going on right now. We do have high pressure in place as we take a look at our satellite, and our conditions are pretty good out there. Our temperature right now in Hamilton is 73 degrees. Into Somerset Dockyard also at 73 and 74 in St. George's. Humidity is at 71% with winds out of the southwest 14 to 18 knots. The water temperature is 70 degrees. Waves inside the reef 1 to 2 feet. Outside the reef are 4 to 7 feet. And we do have a small craft warning in effect through Saturday night because we do have some gusty winds that are going to be around. Now for tonight, partly cloudy, breezy, and overnight low of 70 degrees in Hamilton. And then tomorrow, increasingly windy. We have clouds and sunshine, a high temperature of 76 degrees. The overnight low will be at 71. Here is our marine conditions. Our first high tide was at 12:08 this afternoon, and the first low tide comes at 6:53 p.m. High tide number 2 comes at 12:44 in the wee hours of Saturday morning, and the second low tide comes at 7:01 a.m. on Saturday. So looking at our gateway forecast here, Toronto's got some snow. Also, New York City is going to see a bit of snow coming through. In Boston, we have some snow as well, and cool in Atlanta with some sunshine. Jamaica has showers around. Tropical development, nothing to be concerned about there. And looking through the forecast, we have a cold front that's going to move across the area. So for Sunday, that is going to bring periods of rain, and we could also see a thunderstorm as well. Behind it, we are going to have high pressure in place once again, and cooler temperatures. Our high temperature on Monday under a partly sunny sky, 70 degrees. Partly sunny on Tuesday at 70. And then we do have another front that will head our way for Wednesday, and that could bring us some showers as that comes through with a high temperature of 73 degrees. To stay up to date with all that the weather has to offer, tune into Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
security. Be fire and burglar free. Right from your phone, monitor, control. Lock safes, doors, gates, business, family safe. You're on the go, and that's okay. BSG with you every
Bermuda Security Group, your security, life safety, and monitoring experts. We're with you every step of the way. Bermuda Security Group, BSG.BM.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
Students from around the island have been privileged to see special artwork being displayed at the National Gallery's Shepard Fairey exhibition. It's thanks to the generosity of the Green family, who owns the Hamilton Princess, who have provided free transportation to students to go and see world-famous works, including one from former U.S. President Barack Obama. We caught up with Danny Penn, the Education and Communication Officer for the National Gallery.
Thanks to the Green family, with the loan of the Shepard Fairey exhibition, we are able to showcase these artworks and have students have the opportunity to see these artworks, such as the Barack Obama campaign election posters, the Hope and Progress series, and We the People series, advocating for women's rights. And it is through these artworks, students are able to come through and write their presentations on art and activism, the power of art, for today's event, the Human Rights Day celebration.
Members of the Human Rights Commission were also on hand to promote art as a way to raise awareness of social justice issues.
My commissioners are Quentin Butterfield and Jahan Cedeno, and I'm Sarah Clifford. And today we're joining with the Bermuda National Gallery to celebrate the extraordinary power of art in helping to protect and promote human rights. There's so much to celebrate. There's so much that art can provide in terms of progressing social justice issues. And this exhibit, I urge everyone to come and take a look.
And my opinion about Shepard's Fairey art, I really find it interesting. My favorite piece is the one behind me, Make Art Not War. And I love it.
I believe that Shepard's Fairey's art is just incredibly impactful, and my favorite series is the We the People series. That's right here.
And I like the picture of Barack Obama where it says "Be the Change," and how Shepard Fairey done his art.
Be the change. Now here's the latest from the sports desk.
The Dailies were all back in action on the fourth and final day of the 2017 Youth Swimming Cup in Canada, representing the North York Aquatic Club. Elan Daly won 3 events and broke 3 records along the way. She first won the girls' 12-year-old 200-meter backstroke, touching the wall in a time of 2:21.61, breaking her own record of 2:29.82. Elan would then break the girls' 12-year-old 100-meter backstroke record time of 1:16 flat. She set back on December 4th, 2016 during the Youth Cup, and she won the gold medal in a time of 1:15.63. Elan would take her overall medal count for the event to 9 when she captured the girls' 12-year-old 100-meter freestyle gold medal, clocking a time of 57.97. This time broke her own record time of 58.38. She set back on February 12th of this year during the Swim Ontario Winter Festival. Elijah Daly won the boys' 11-year-old 200-meter butterfly gold medal at a time of 2:32.57, which broke his brother Ethan's record time of 2:38.44, set back on May 17th, 2014 during the Markham meet in Canada. During the 11-year-old boys' 100-meter freestyle, Elijah Daly won a silver medal when he finished second, clocking a time of 1:04.06. Ethan Daly finished 33rd, competing in the boys' 16 and over 200-meter backstroke, touching the wall in a time of 2:40.51. A big field of more than 100 golfers, including Bermuda's Kamiko Smith and Dwayne Pearman, teed off at the prestigious 51st Jamaica Open Golf Championships in Montego Bay. Smith ended the day tied 6th after his first round of 1 under par 71, while Pearman finished the day 52nd at 6 over par 78. Smith's scorecard showed him recording 5 birdies, 10 pars, 2 bogeys, and 1 double bogey, while Pearman's round consisted of a birdie, 11 pars, 5 bogeys, and 1 double bogey. A total of 13 goals were scored in a doubleheader as the Bermuda Bowl Hockey League season resumed at the PCC Hockey Rink. In the opener, the Montreal Canadiens scored 2 goals in the final period to edge the Vancouver Canucks 3-2. The Montreal Canadiens would go ahead 1-0 in the first period with a goal off the stick of Bill Kellock, but Christopher Jackson would level the score at 1-1 when he scored in the second period for the Vancouver Canucks. The Montreal Canadiens would go ahead 2-1 in the third period when Chris Allington scored. They would then find themselves 3-1 ahead when Andrew Bonner found the back of the net. Jackson would pull a goal back for the Vancouver Canucks with 2 minutes remaining, but they could not find the equalizer. In the nightcap, the Toronto Maple Leafs picked up their first win of the season, stunning the league leaders Winnipeg Jets, winning 5-3. As we take a look into football action over the weekend, in Premier Division tomorrow night at the BAA Field, 9th place Flanagan's Onions will host 5th place Dendytown Hornets. Then on Sunday at 3 p.m. up at the PHC Stadium, league leaders PHC Zebras will entertain Young Man Social Club, who are at the bottom of the table. At Lords and St. David's, 6th place Boulevard Blazers will entertain 2nd place Robin Hood, while over at the Devonshire Recreation Club, 4th place Devonshire Cougars will host 3rd place North Village Rams. 7th place Crossroads are at Garrison Field facing 8th place Somerset Trojans. In the First Division, 3rd place Southampton Rangers are at home to the league leaders BAA, while 8th place Island Rangers are at home at Malabar to face off against 2nd place Paget Lions. 6th place St. George's Colts are at Wellington Oval entertaining 4th place Somerset Eagles, while 5th place St. David's face off against Devonshire Colts, who are currently in 7th place. 9th place Wolves will play 10th place Hamilton Parish at the Devonshire Recreation Club. Matthew Lejour begins his quest for a Winter Olympic Games spot as the FIS Freestyle Skiing World Cup season gets underway with the first competition in the Moguls World Cup at Finland's Ruka Ski Resort. Lejour will be looking to secure a spot towards the Pyeongchang 2018 Olympic Winter Games as soon as possible to then work on preparations for the Games. Corey Cross and her Coventry University women's rugby football teammates recorded a massive 53-7 win over Northampton. Cross and her teammates go into the Christmas break sitting atop of the league and still yet undefeated in the season. Bermuda Sandshell Association hosted its Sanda Pandas inaugural in-house tournament. There were 4 divisions contested during the tournament. Rounds were best 2 out of 3 with a 1-minute duration and a 30-second rest period. Winning the Cubs division was David Augustus, while the girls division was won by Jada Richards. The Pandas youth division was won by Jazino Rayner, while the Pandas division was won by Sebastian Davis. The most outstanding fighter for the tournament was Jada Richards. Ladies Classic Bowling League action at the Warwick Lanes, it saw Strike Zone fall 13-7 to the Classy Ladies. Fresh Spears went down 16.5 to 3.5 to the Precious Gems, while the Phil Dangerous Dames went down 15-5 to OCD, and the Stardust defeated the Upstarts 13.5 to 6.5. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Mixed Pila Farine, just $3.99 per pound for your Christmas baking. Certified Angus beef, fresh top sirloin roast, only $8.99 per pound. Heinz Crunchy and Tangy Piccalilli, just $2.99 for a 310-gram jar. Select varieties of stovetop stuffing, only $2.89 for a 6-ounce box. Select varieties of Sargento shredded cheese, just $4.29 for a 7-ounce package. All stores open Monday through Saturday until 10 p.m. and Sunday 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. for your shopping convenience.
You can count on us.
Bermuda has never experienced anything quite like the 35th America's Cup, a global event held on local shores with millions upon millions of people watching on TV. But this was more than a month of sailboat racing. It was a 3-year collective effort that reached into virtually every corner of our community, pushing our boundaries, expanding our vision, and leaving an indelible mark on those who lived and breathed this incredible national accomplishment.
All of us were sort of on eggshells going in saying, this is big, and are we going to be able to do this?
I put myself out there personally, but I think Bermuda also, we put ourselves out there as a country.
Peter Dormer basically said, 1 part sailboat racing and 9 parts everything else. He was dead on.
And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Good night.